Hey, gun people. Man, that's a great ruling. Very rarely do you get a 9-0 decision from SCOTUS, uh, Supreme Court of the United States. So, 9-0, man, you just don't see too many of those. When you can get the left and the right and all justice agree on something, you know it's probably a good ruling. Asset forfeiture, this has been a scam. I mean, when it first came out, it was great. Drug dealers had millions. They made all their money illegal. They were killing people, and there was nothing. I was all for it. I think the government ought to be seizing all the Catholic churches for them running their criminal scam for a pedophile ring of cult and their cult behavior of ongoing crimes throughout the world, not just the United States. So I kind of think the government should be seizing all the churches and assets from them. But now that SCOTUS has ruled, limit civil asset forfeiture. It doesn't necessarily limit it to a point, and it doesn't stop it, but it says it can't be excessive. So it's a 9-0 ruling, and part of the things they talked about uh, limit the ability of state and local government to seize property. I'm not sure if it shouldn't just be done away with, but 9-0 of the Constitution of Civil Asset Forfeiture, and of course they use the Eighth Amendment, which is excessive bails, cruel and unusual punishment. So they're citing, look, this is excessive. And a couple of incidences that they gave for examples, I was like, are you kidding me? And I never agree with that freaking witch Ginsburg, but she actually wrote something that made sense to me. Obviously, someone else wrote it because she can't put a coherent sentence together. Excessive fines can be used, for example, to retaliate against or chill speech of political enemies. Kind of what YouTube does on conservatives. The government could do that by, if you talk against us, we'll fine you and we'll seize your property. So this is a very true statement. I can't believe that she came up with it. But and then in the event of political motives, fines may be employed. Penal goes retribution and a deterrence. Okay, the ruling came on a Tyson case. Now this is sometimes good case law comes over bad cases. So Mr. Tyson Tibbs of Indiana man sued over a 42,000 Land Rover because he got caught with $400 worth of heroin. So they took his Land Rover. This is what happens when government overreaches. So I always say it gets worse before it gets better. And that's kind of what they're doing with guns right now. Kind of what they're doing with the hate crimes. Kind of what they're doing by only charging hate crimes against white people and not against any other color people. So when government gets out of control and they start abusing their authority, the majority of the people get so outraged that normally the courts step in and go, hey, we got to put a stop to this. The government was out of control on asset seizure. You want a $400 worth of heroin, you're going to take a $42,000 Land Rover. There was somebody, they gave another example, they were taking cars for speeding. Where was that? This is a great picture. little crybaby got an award for being the worst actor in a fake hate crime. Anyway, I digress. So this decision, oral arguments, exchange, civil asset forfeiture even allowed police to seize a vehicle of someone driving 5 miles over the speed limit. That's excessive bail and excessive fines. I think we're already way past excessive bail. I don't think you ought to be going to jail for any speeding tickets. In Texas, it's a freaking misdemeanor. You can be locked up in jail for speeding. That's outrageous. I mean, that ought to be the next lawsuit. But I digress. Let's stay with the excessive bails here. So for speeding, somebody could lose their Mercedes, a Ferrari, or even a jalopy. All right. Even though it had already been done in the Bill of Rights, in other amendments, I think this is where they cover that. Yeah, the Eighth Amendment here. Notably, the court stopped basically the validity of a practice into question and imposed substantial limits, but it had not put some high ceiling on a state forfeiture. So a lot of times ruling kind of says, hey, you guys get a hold of this. We're not going to stop it. We're not going to do away with it, but we're going to tell you you're a little out of control. Don't make us tell you you can't do it at all. So this put kind of governments in check on their seizure. And of course, they had to try to slant this to slam Trump. Oh, Trump announced he was planning to draw $600 million. And look, the Supreme Court just said civil asset is bad, and Trump's using that bad money to build a wall. So the wall is bad, the money's bad, and Trump's bad. Freaking left-wing leaning USA writing a slanted article. How does this have anything to do with Trump trying to secure our borders when the freaking left is trying to open the borders and destroy the damn country? You know what? They will attach, and like I said, Trump could cure cancer, and the left would be reporting he put doctors out of work. Let's see. Homeland Security won't be affected by this ruling. So anyway, I think it's a great ruling. I agree with them. I don't agree a lot with the courts because you got a bunch of left-wing idiots up there. I rarely agree with a nice circus because they always come out of San Francisco with crazy rulings, and they're the most overturned court out there by the Supreme Court. But in this case, I agree with SCOTUS. It was a 9-0 decision. I think this is good. I think it should have been stricter, and they should have put more limits. But you know what? I'm not the king. So, and unfortunately, in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. And right now, we got a bunch of one-eyed fools running the country. All right, we'll end that there.